We are live. Okay. Hi, sis. Hi. Thank you for joining me. How you doing today? Hi. We are live once again. Thank you so much. Yes, we are live today for Parenting O'Clock. Thank you. Okay. Let me wait for our guest. Hi. Thank you. Thank you so much for joining me today again. Hi. Yay, thank you. Hi. How you doing? Please let me know if you can hear me. Let me know in the comment section if you can hear me. Thank you. Hi. How you doing? Thank you. Yes, it's Parenting O'Clock. Parenting O'Clock holds every Thursday by 7 p.m. West African time and 2 p.m. Eastern time. So I'm excited to have everyone here again today. So excited to have you all, parents. Thank you. Oh, you can hear me. That's great. Thank you. Thank you so much for being here today. I'm waiting for our guests to join in so we can start. Okay. How you doing today? Oh, good to know. Good to know you're fine. Yeah, I'm also doing well. We are fine. We're doing great. Thank you. Thank you. Okay. Oh, yes. Okay, let's start. Thank you so much for joining. Yes, this is Parenting O'Clock. It's a forum and arm of Conscious Parenting Academy where we talk about parenting and every conversation that surrounds parenting. So today, and yes, if you haven't had the chance to meet me, I'm Olabisi Ajayi of Conscious Parenting Academy. I'm always excited to be here sharing with us on how to become an advantage to our children. And also this arm is to be a support for everyone, every parent out there in giving our best to this journey called parenting. Yes. So today we are having an amazing conversation around financial literacy. How do we teach our kids to have this knowledge of managing finance? How they should the knowledge of about money. So that's what we are here to do today. So I'm still waiting for our guest. Oh, I'm seeing that she said she can't see me on the right platform. Hi, sis. Thank you. I need to drop this message here. Hi, sis. Hi. Thank you. Whew. It seems our guest is finding it hard to join in. This is 10 minutes gone. Thank you, sis. I sincerely appreciate it. Thank you. Okay, let me see if I can tag her. Parenting. Is it parenting through mentorship or? We did a sample yesterday, like a tryout yesterday. So she joined. We tried it out yesterday. So she joined me. So okay, parenting through mentorship. I guess let me see if she will get the notification. Hey, thank you. Who is this? Okay, thank you for joining. I was just okay. She just joined. Okay, thank you. I just yep. Okay. Hi, sis.
As
Believe
in,
that's fine.
let me not even, I don't even know where to start this apology
I
from.
know that's
So,
fine. That's fine. I can see you
I
anyway.
need to even, yeah, I need to get that camera off. So I had like a major, I need to even get, we can get this. Why can't I even get the, let me just use, let's just talk instead of this dark look. Why is
Okay.
the camera not even
You can
responding?
leave it. It's okay as well.
Is it okay this way?
Yes, that's fine. That's
Okay.
still good.
So what
Yes.
happened is I had like a major cut, and then um, the other source of power supply, for some reason, I'm the only one that can figure it out,
And now
and my
you're here.
husband is in there. Be here to figure it out. And the person that's supposed to help our son is trying to figure it out. He's not. So I'm torn between helping him
I'm being
figure
here.
it out, and being here. So I just told him, something. I beg. let me just go to
It's fine.
let me
Yeah,
go
it's
to
fine.
work.
It's fine.
Let me
It's
go to
fine.
work.
Thank you so much
So
for
sorry
joining.
about this.
No problem. That's fine.
I'm
It's
so
a
sorry.
live session.
Yeah.
So I'm so excited to have you here. So, like I've made the introduction, this
Yeah.
is Parenting O'Clock. It's an arm of Conscious Parenting Academy where we talk about parenting and to be of great advantage to our children. It's a platform to be of great support to parents out there. Parenting is no joke. It's hard work. So, and we need knowledge to parent better. I've realized that most of the error, the damage we have out there today is
Mm.
basically because parents were assumed a lot of things. They expect us to figure out so many things on our own. Well, so some figure it out. They figure it out well. Some came out
Yeah.
damaged. Some came out so a lot of errors. But because we want to be an advantage to our children, we've got to teach them all that is necessary. Teach them skills, equip them with skills, and raise them to be awesome, to be well-rounded.
Very
And
true.
one of the skills I've always loved to talk about children. At times when you get to the stores with your children, you see them, I want to buy this, I want to buy this.
Mm-hmm.
And instead of us as parents to use that as teachable moment, we get angry and at times eat there. We get into
Mm-hmm.
a lot of chaos in the store. So I think we need knowledge. Knowledge is key on this journey. And so I'm so
Very.
excited to have you here. I've seen you written book on money smart children like that, and I've heard you talk about
Mm-hmm.
money. So I know you are best fit for this conversation today. So I'm so
Thank
honored to have
you.
you. Thank you so much for joining me. So I'm going to be giving you some few minutes because I also have to join a program going on. So
Okay.
um, I'm so excited to have you. Thank you so much for the honor of being here. I do not take you for granted. So I'm going to be giving you some minutes to introduce yourself and just talk to us about how can we educate our children about money. How do we have to wait for a certain age or what age they
Yeah.
need to start, or what's the meaning of financial literacy? Like maybe we should start with that then. Just talk to us for the next 20 to 25 minutes or 30 or thereabout. Thank you so much. Over to you.
All right then. So thank you very much, sis, for having me. It's an
Yes,
honor. Sorry you can't see my face.
that's
I have like
good.
a really bad weather. It's raining, and all of that. And so, there's all of that. But hey, we are here. We will do the work.
Yes.
All right. So my name, so my name is Maribeth Chima. I'm sure I've been introduced already. So let's not waste time on this introduction. Let's just jump right into it. I run the Parenting Through Mentorship Academy, and then I run a peer mentorship and accountability group for children. It's called the Mastermind Circle. It's an accountability group for children between ages 6 and 14. We want them to understand that their life, they are the most important people in their lives. And so they need to take the front stage and begin to learn how to self-direct. And of course, we focus on skills. All right. We want to help them build executive functioning
Hi,
skills,
sis.
skills that will help them navigate. And then, of course, money skills is one of those skills.
Major
So
skills.
it's
Yes.
this skill is very, as in you said, is important to you, is so important to me, because as an educator, it's one of those things I keep wondering, as a parent, an educator, and a lover of children and growth amongst children.
Yes.
It's one of those things I keep wondering, why does our curriculum, completely ignore this aspect of education?
Education.
I don't know, why is it like that? Is like it's a deliberate, I've studied different, curriculum and
Curriculums.
all of that, curricula, and I'm like, why isn't anyone
Talking
strong
about
on this?
this. Mm-hmm.
Yes. Why they're not talking about it seriously, especially because it's a part of our life that is rooted in, everything that we do is rooted in money and, financial education and knowledge, one way or the other. Right from the food they eat at home till to the snack or pizza that they
They
want, the
want
clothes they wear, when they walk into the stores, the school fees, everything has got some
related.
monetary connotation. So
Mm-hmm.
why, yes. So why then are we not having the money conversation
Conversation.
with these children? And why, why are we not recognizing that it's a part of, learning that they should,
Major.
be introduced to? Yes. So coincidentally, I spent the entire month of April with the
Wow.
children in the mastermind circle learning about financial education.
Wow.
So we had like a robust curriculum from the first to the end of April,
April.
learning just about money. So basically, I looked at that curriculum when you invited me. I looked at the curriculum and I'm like, how am I going to break this thing we just did for
Now,
1 month into a 20 or 30 minutes class,
conversation.
and all of that? Yeah, but hey, let's try and
Mm-hmm.
just touch on this conversation, somehow. All right. So yes, money. Why do children need to learn about
Money.
money? What is money anyway? Why is it important and all of that? So in this class, I will just touch, bits and tips here. Okay, I will go through, a financial blueprint and why parents need to have this conversation with their children. I will talk a little about, the myth and the wrong beliefs, negative beliefs around money. I will look around, we'll talk a bit about facts about money, how to help children think about money, how to help them develop an abundance mindset, and then how to relate, understand and relate the connection between value and money. Okay, between value and creating wealth, basically, and then we will look briefly into how to make, manage, and multiply money. So that's what I'm going to try and squeeze in this short time here.
That's
All
fine.
right. So as I
Thank you.
said, the subject of money is being ignored, and I don't think it's something that we should do. That should be the case. All right. But how can we help children begin to learn about money? It is something that, as it is, has to be done at home. So I want to believe that that is probably why formal education, right? Traditional education tends to, ignore it or not focus on it because it is believed to be something that should be learned
From
from home.
home.
And
Yes.
I think strongly that it's something that we should teach at home as parents.
As
We should
parents.
help our children develop a financial or a money identity. It's very important that how your child views money, what your child thinks about money, how your child interacts with
Those.
money, and all of that should be something that is tied to your values and how
Oh,
you want them to view money. Because the truth is, if we don't give them this identity, then out there, pop culture, society,
of
pop
course.
culture,
Different
all of these, society is
informations out
going to
there.
give them, yes,
Yes.
it's going to give them an interpretation of what money is. And many times, this may be
It's
really
always a
far from what it is to
mm-hmm.
us. For example, I mean, if you turn and you look at Hollywood or look at Nollywood, in fact, what Nollywood and Hollywood portrays of money are actually two different things altogether. So if you want to look at pop culture, look at it from the Nigerian or African perspective, what are celebrities say money is?
Is
If that is the knowledge of money that your child is going to have, then I don't know if that is what you want. The whole idea that when you have money, you have to, we know all the many ideas or ideology that is there as per what money is. Okay, for some group of people, you need to get into some reality show where you throw all caution out just so that you can have the big break and you can have
mm-hmm.
money, or you can
Attention.
have the platform that will give you visibility so that you can start making money. And then when you make this money, you have to carry it around your hand, go to parties and begin to
Spend
fling it in the
lavishly.
air, and all of that. Or you have to take your bank and put your bank on your neck so that everybody will see that you can wear
You're
your bank on your
wealthy.
neck. Do you understand? So
Yeah.
if
I
you are
love
not
this.
giving your child an identity or an interpretation of what money is, how money should be
Handle
achieved, or how money should or wealth should be created, how you should interact with it, and what it should mean to you. Now, if you don't do this, that becomes a vacuum. And if you're going to allow pop culture fill that vacuum, then this is probably what your child is going to understand money as. Do you understand? Okay,
Yes.
it could just simply be what Hollywood says it is.
Mm.
Hollywood is acting a movie, and your child is watching this movie, and your child is deciding that
This is
what
how
shows in the movie is what money is and how money should be dealt with and interacted with and all of that. And for crying out loud, it's not a
it's
reality,
not
isn't
at
it?
all.
It's not the reality.
At
Do you
all.
understand? In
Yes.
another case, it could just be society on its own. I mean, depending on the society where you are, it could be a society that tells you, I was, the way you are online, and then I stumbled, on a write-up. I just saw the caption, how some young lady that is married to an elderly man that is very rich is advising young girls, and she says, whatever you do, just make sure you marry a rich man. Do you understand? Now, that is the narrative out there. If you do not have one, you've not filled that gap, that could be your daughter's narrative. Like
Narrative
everything
well.
that you are is not enough. Your job in this life is to position yourself, whatever it takes to position yourself to ensure that you end up marrying a
A
guy
rich
that is wealthy.
person.
When you get to that point, then you now understand. Do you
You
understand?
know,
So these are all different
there's more
narratives that are out there
out there.
that if you do not give your child a financial blueprint, okay, that will help them form their financial identity or personality, then all of these different people and many more that I have not even mentioned here will tell them what money is. Or is it the one that will tell them they need to be in a dark room and be doing for them to you understand? So
There
there
is
are
a
all
lot
of
going on. Yes.
exactly, there's a lot going on. So that's why it's important that we are the ones filling that space, very, very, very key. So I put down a few questions that you want to ask yourself as a parent when you think of helping your children develop a financial identity, or you want to create a blueprint for your children. You want to ask yourself the question, who am I raising my child to become? Because this whole
Key.
journey
That's key.
is you supporting your child to become.
That's
So who am I raising my child to become, basically? You want to ask yourself, what are our beliefs about money? What is my family belief about money? Are we the people that feel, okay, all you need to do is position yourself, get an education, make sure you reach the highest level, get a master's, a PhD, so that you can get a job that you will be paid? That's it? Or are you the one that is telling the child, out of your belly shall flow rivers of waters. You will multiply. You will become a conduit and all of that for money and all of that. You have within you what it takes to create wealth and all of that. Is that what you want to sell to your child? So basically, what are your beliefs? Your beliefs about money is going to form what your child comes to believe about money. The other one is, what are your financial habits as a parent, as a family? What are the financial habits that you have? How do you spend? Do you plan? Do you plan before spending? What do you do? What forms the way you interact with money in your family? Okay, I was sharing the other day and I said, in my home, we do not go to the supermarket or anywhere and my children say to me, "Mommy, buy me this." We have established this a long time ago. So when we go to the stores, it's more like, "I love that. Can I put it on my wish lists?" That's how it goes. "Can I put it on my wish list?" And I'm like, "Go ahead and put it on your wish list." So on that wish list, it means if I say no to the child, it's okay. And it's something that we introduce so early that it's not a problem. By the time they are 4, it's not a problem at all. They understand no and all of that. And it didn't just start with, going to the supermarket. It started as part of our financial blueprint for 0 to 3, where we teach the children that no is an answer, yes is an answer. Any one of them you get is just fine. And then we make a song with it. No is an answer, yes is an answer. Any one I get is just fine. So by the time we are going out, as you are entering the car, we are singing already. No is an answer, yes is an answer. We preempt. We don't have time for it happened, it did not happen. From there, we preempt. So this no and yes applies with everything. Even when you come at home and you want Pringles, and mommy says no. So that way, before you even start making the face, I start the song for you. No is an answer. Yes, anyone. In fact, sometimes I will chant it and then they will join me. I love that part, that time when they're like really free. When they are 2 and 3, you just start the song like the child is frowning. Yes, the child is singing. Yes. By the time we get to,
you've already win them over. Yeah.
You understand? So by the time we got to 5, 6, 7, it was not an issue at all. I tell people these things every time. A lot of times, most of these issues, or most of the challenges that we have with the children when they become preteens, it's because we didn't do our due diligence when they were infants and toddlers.
Yes.
If you understand that every aspect of parenting should start from the cradle, there are a lot of things that you will nip in the bud. So if you're able to, from the beginning, look at all of the areas that you want to parent along, all of the different educational areas that you want to, for sure, the time is too short. I can't even go into all of those things. So let me just be skipping and going my way. But when creating your parenting plan, if you have you should have a vision of all of the different areas that you want to, touch in your parenting. And there should be parenting plan for 0 to 3 for each of these. And so for our financial plan, this is part of, the blueprints that part of the blueprint. Basically, this is part of it. This is the structure that we put in place at that point. All of it is still geared towards financial education. So at the point that we're doing that, we have already started our financial education lesson. Basically, the point where the child is learning yes and no lesson is already on. Okay, so basically you want to ask that question. Okay, then you also want to ask the question, ask yourself, how confident is my child in the, I mean, how confident am I raising this child to be? Because basically the confidence that your child exudes is going to determine how easily swayed they are to take up other people's
Influence.
footprints or other people's blueprints or other people's,
Believe.
idea of what
Values.
money or any other thing is. So you want to ask yourself, am I raising a confident child? You want to ask yourself, am I raising a child that can relate and connect with people socially, basically? Am I raising a child that can connect with people? These are all financial questions, because they eventually we will, I mean, we were not raised to create for ourselves. You will have to connect with people. Life is about connection. And then the last question you want to ask yourself, am I raising a child that is enough, right, to trust people? Because if you raise children who can't trust people, sometimes there's trauma right there. That's why your child cannot trust people. So as much as we want them to be, to take caution, we want to raise children who don't go out there thinking everybody wants to rip them off. Everybody, there's something wrong. You don't want to raise a child that is judging everybody out there and all of that. So you want to also ask yourself, am I raising a child that is full, right? That gives people the benefit of the doubt. Am I raising that kind of child, basically, that can trust? Because eventually they will collaborate, they will partner with people, and all of that. And trust is going to be something that comes in there. So these are the questions you want to ask. Now, when you ask these questions, then you are on your way to creating a financial blueprint for your family. Okay. Now, what is this financial blueprint? Basically, it is it's a template, you want to call it that. It's a template that you want to use to help your children go through the financial process or financial journey that the financial journey towards the ultimate goal that you want to achieve as far as financial education is concerned. So it means, what lessons, what am I doing from when they are 0 to 3? What am I doing from when they are 3 to 6? Like that, all the way to 18. So we created a template like that. We actually have a template like that we share with parents. So I have this course that I run. I call it the $1, $1K course, right? We call it pathway to teaching your children financial and entrepreneurial skill or awareness or something like that. So basically what we do is we just bring parents in, because you can hear me the way I'm talking. I'm very passionate about the subject. And I know that a lot of times the reason that our children don't get financially smart or they don't get financially intelligent is because as parents we don't even know what to teach. I hope you know that you can be a wealthy parent and yet you're not able to raise children with the right financial mindset. You're not able to raise children who become wealthy people. And yet you can be a totally poor parents and you can raise a billionaire. I mean, go back and look at the world's billionaires right now. How many of them actually came from billionaire family? From Elon Musk to Mark Zuckerberg, even Bill Gates, he didn't exactly come from like a wealthy family. I don't know of Steve Jobs. So if you go and you look at the world's wealthiest people, they're not necessarily people who were groomed by wealthy parents per se. All right. So, I mean, look at the case of, what's his name? Ben Carson. His mom was totally a stark illiterate and all of that. So if we're going to go by the fact that, if you are poor, you're not able to raise children who can be wealthy, then we know that that's not true. So this has nothing to do with your financial standing or your financial position as a parent. Any parent can raise a child with a rich financial mindset. All right. So my son figured things out. So I'm just going to come on now. Give me a second.
Yeah, that's good. Thank you.
Thank you, Kamsi.
Yeah, thank you so much.
All right, then, just one second.
Okay.
All righty.
Thank you.
So let me take off my glasses before it starts reflecting. I'm so sorry about this.
No, that's
everyone.
fine. That's fine.
You.
Thank you so much.
Right. All right. So basically this, right? So you don't necessarily have to be that parent that is wealthy. So we can actually have wealthy parents who still do not know how to step these, financial abundance mindsets, right, to raise children who would have that mindset. So what we do in that class, we have parents enroll for the class, and I take the whole 1 hour and 1 hour and a half to just teach how to help your children build this mindset. So that class is happening this Saturday. So it's $1 or 1K, right, to join the class. So in that class, that's what we just do. We break it down, and then we do principles, and we break down this financial blueprints that we're talking about. Basically, just take it and go. Okay. And that's because we also run a financial course for the children. So that course will come at the end of the month. So we want to run that course for the kids, and know what to do with them after we're done with that course, because we understand that it is very key.
It's very key.
Yes. So by the time you have this, so your financial blueprint becomes a template, right, that you can now use in educating your children. So let me give you an instance. From 0 to 3, right, from 0 to 3, the part of what we do from 0 to 3 in that blueprint is we start the yes is an answer, no is an answer. So you introduce that as early as when the child is between 0 and 3, letting them understand that you will get yes sometimes and you will get no sometimes. All right. Helping the children understand that they turn off, the light switch when they are going out, and then they turn it in when they are using it as part of that financial blueprint. Getting the children to the point where on their own, they get to the point where they can actually turn off the light switch or turn it on when they need it and turn it off when they're done with it. Is all part of that financial blueprints and all of that. So we have steps like that. From that level, we go on to the next level, like that, up to when the children are 16. So 18. So I have a son who is 14 years old. So my son that I was just talking about now is 14. All right. So when our son was 9, he started a business. Okay. When he was 9, he started a business. Now, why did he start a business at age 9? It's because as part of our financial blueprints, we begin to talk about impact when the child is around age 7. So from age 7, we begin to talk about impact. What do you have within you that you can use to be a blessing to anyone at all? It could be just one person, or it could be more than one person. So by the time he was 7, we started asking the question. So what is it that you have that you think you can use to be a blessing? Because it's financial knowledge to know that whatever skill you have, that you can develop into a service or a product will be for other people. So it's when you are able to create solutions to the problems that other people have, that is when you become valuable to them and they're able to reward you. Okay, so for you to get to that point, you need to understand early that there is something inside of you that can be a solution to someone. Someone needs to need you, right? Someone needs to need you and be willing to pay or be willing to reward you for that need that you are in, for that solution that you have created. The moment that happens, it means you have a customer. And the moment that happens, it means you are in business, period. That is all that it takes to be in business, or it takes to start a business. Starting a business just simply means you have someone who is willing to pay for some value that you have. So as far as the person willingly pays for that value that you create, it doesn't matter whether you are 10, whether you are 15, whether you are doing this at the back of your home, whether you are doing it in your house, or whether you are doing it in the market square. The moment you have that one person that is willing to pay for something that you can create, something that you can give as a solution, the person pays you willingly. Bam, you have a customer. And the moment your customer pays you, you are in business, period. So the moment you are exchanging what you can give for, the service or the product that you have, the moment you're exchanging it and someone is paying willingly for it, that's all it takes to start a business, basically. But then we need to start having this conversation as early as possible. So to initiate this conversation, you begin to ask the children, what do you have? What do you know how to do? What solution can you bring to the table, basically? And that solution has to be from something that is your superpower. It's better when it's something that is your superpower, when it's something that you do better than most people, when it's something that comes easily to
For
you,
you.
and all of that. So the moment we asked that question, he thought about it, and then he said, oh, that he knows, he likes science, and that he can teach people science. Oh, I like, good, you can teach people science. And we're like, okay, so how do you do this? How do you think you can do this? And then he thought about it and he said, now, talking about money and talking about wealth creation entails problem solving and thinking. So the moment you're asking these questions, you are already bringing your child to that place where the child understands that to create wealth
You need to
entails that you are thinking,
yeah.
and that you are thinking of how to solve problems. So when we start this conversation, this is what we have at the back of our mind, having him think and create solutions. And then he goes, science. I mean, who would think that there's anything that can come out of science? But yes, there's something that can come out of science, isn't it? Okay, so that's another thing that is important when we talked about, money begins with a mindset. Wealth creation begins with the mindset. We need to get our children to the point, first of all, where they think about money from an abundance place. They think about it from a place of abundance. They're thinking of problems and solutions. Most times, the mistake that we make, especially when we start telling our children, oh, to be doctors, you need to be a doctor. Oh, we are relocating. Now you have to be a nurse. You have to, do you understand? When we put this thing, what we have done is we are not working on the mindset. We have put money ahead of, we put money ahead of everything else. So when we raise children who think of wealth and think of money from a place of currency, they think of it from a place of currency, how much I will get, then we are not doing it the right way. But when you start asking these questions at age 7 and at 8, and you start asking them the question, what do you have inside of you that you can give that can solve someone's problem? You're already putting them in that space where they are looking inward. Because if you look at the world's wealthiest people or the most successful people in the world, they are not people who thought about money first. They are people who thought about problems and solutions and how to create those solutions for those problems. That's why you hear the experts say to you, nobody gets rich from working for other people. Okay? I mean, it's a school of thought. You can take
Yeah.
it or you cannot take it. It's up to you. But I think this is the mindset, right? This is the mindset behind it. Because most times when we work, all we're thinking about is how to show up so that I get a paycheck at the end of the month. So most times we get in there and it's not deeper. It's not that deep. Do you understand? So you get in there, it's really not that deep. You're not the business owner. You don't sit down there. You don't have sleepless nights on top of the matter. Your own is anyhow, we'll do our best. I'm not a lazy person. I'll do my best. At the end of the month, let me have my paycheck. Do you understand? So what they're trying to say is it takes thinking of how to get it out. I guess that's also what the scripture was trying to say to us when he says, out of our bellies shall flow the rivers of living waters. So you can't even raise children to be financially smart without making them hold that scripture. My 8-year-old cannot even pray without that scripture, because for us it's an anchor scripture for wealth creation. It is inside your belly. Bring it out, and that is it. It flows. That river doesn't go dry. It's a whole river of living water. So how can you be poor when there's a whole river within you that can flow, basically?
Wow.
So it's really very key, the mindset that we are creating about money, the things that we're saying about money to those children. So at that point, he wanted to do science. And then, so we said to him, good, begin to teach science to your friends. How would you do it? And he's like, okay, he would check in class, any of his friends that doesn't understand, then he would teach the friend, and all of that. And that's what he started doing. By the time he was in year 4, year 5, by the time he was in year 4, I would go to school to pick him up after school. And then they'll start looking for him. And then by the time we find him, he's in a group with 4 or 5 of his friends. and they're actually learning. And then he'll be like, oh, we're doing math today. And then he started setting meetings even before COVID, before the pandemic. He would actually come and tell me he and his friends want to, do a class, they're preparing for exams. They actually will go online and they will do revision for exams, together and all of that. All of that came from that simple question: what can you do to impact the next person? That's where it came from. And then by the time he was 7 going on 8, when we started all of this, we got him a mentor, right? We got him a mentor at that point, and his coach at the time, she lived, in a different city. It was Blackberry, I can remember then. So they would have conversations, read books together, and all of that. And then at some point, he talked to her about the fact that he teaches his friends and all of that. And then she said to him, oh, you do that? Do you know that you can also teach on YouTube? You can actually teach and reach a wider audience on YouTube. Okay. And so she gave him an assignment, and she said he should create a YouTube channel in 1 week. By the next time they are meeting, she wants to see the YouTube channel. I was a social media dinosaur. I had no business on using people's Facebook. I'm still struggling with Instagram as it is right now, you see. So I didn't have any business on Facebook. I didn't even know really how to create a channel on YouTube. None of this, I'm talking about Blackberry time back then, that's like, he's 14 now. So I'm talking about 7-8 years ago, So at that point, I thought, coach has given us assignments. Right? So we got to it and we started struggling. We went there and we created something. Come see my science, my world. That's what we created and all of that. And boom, that's how it is. So he started making science videos. All right. So he would actually read up a topic or a topic in school. He would come and then he would do, you should check it out. It's still there. The channel is still there. Come see my science, my world. So he will create, videos, content on circulatory system, all of this. He just keeps doing video after the videos and all of that. Now when we were doing that, he was developing other skills, public speaking skills. He was developing the ability to show up. These are all financial skills. The ability to show up regularly. So those videos will come in every 2 weeks. The ability to show up, the ability to, stay on until you see him. If you know him these days, he has like this real husky voice. But back then he was just 8. So you just see a little shy boy. But anyway, it was part of the journey. You understand? Yes, it was part of the journey at that time. These days, he doesn't even run that channel anymore, because as part of the journey, he got to the point where we asked the question, now you are here. What do you want? That has nothing to do with money. That has nothing to do with daddy. Now, remember, the point where we were talking about what you want to do to impact was when he was around 7. So we ran that between when he was 7. So by the next phase of that journey, right, we got into using platforms. What platforms do you want? What platforms do we have? How can you take it a notch, and all of that? And then we got to the stage where we said to him, consolidation stage. Now, this has nothing to do with us. What do you want to do for yourself? And then he said, can I stop with the science videos? It's taking a lot of my time. He doesn't like being in front of the camera. So at this time, we had moved to the next level. We got a videographer. So he will come in on Sunday. He will shoot 5-6 videos, changing from one clothes to the other and all of that. So he got to the point, and I think he had enough of it. And that's another thing. Even on this journey, we have to learn as parents when to pause and when to evaluate. And do you understand? It's not an easy journey. That's the truth. So there has to be the point where we have to stop and evaluate what it is that we are doing, to be sure that we are not dragging our children, to be sure that we are not satisfying our own parenting ego, to be sure that we are not raising trophy children that we want to show off. We need to get to that point. And that point is that point where your mind is open and you can allow the child make decisions for themselves. So at the point where we had this conversation, he was about 11. All right, it was 11 going on 12, I think so. And I asked the question and he said, can I just go off the videos? And I'm like, by all means, okay? By all means. But because impact is a core for us, impact is one of our core values, we said to him, so do you have any other way you would want to impact people? You don't have to be you know, you don't have to be on social media. You don't have to be in the front stage. You don't have to be. Nothing says everybody should see anything that you're doing. Is there anything at all that you want to do? And he said, I want a community. I want something that I will have children my age. We're together. We sit together. We have conversations. We talk. We, you know, we help each other with schoolwork and every other aspect and all of that. And we started brainstorming. And then I couldn't come up with something. And I said to him, you know something? I'm going to book a session for you with a visualization coach. So that's another thing, parents. You know, if you're going to raise children who are abundant in their mindset, if you're going to raise children who can think far and beyond, if you're going to raise children who can move from mediocrity and they can be extra. Is it not noisy? My background noisy. Yeah. I could actually shut the window. Okay, because it's raining. It's raining like crazy. Wow. Right. Wow. So, right. So if we're going to raise children, you know, then we have to make sure that mediocrity is not part of what we are doing. We need to identify what it is that is their strength and be willing to bring people who would help them if they are in that place, right? You should be able to say to yourself, this one is not my field, or this is not my forte. You can't know everything. The fact that you can cook food well, you can nurse them very well, does not mean that you can teach them all they need to know to be financially, you know, empowered. Doesn't mean that you can teach them all that they need to know to build themselves, right? Basically. So that's where platforms, you know, and all of this comes in. Basically, you need to be that parent who is willing to create opportunities for your children. So by the time I took him to the visualization coach, they had a session. I remember leaving them in the room and all of that, you know, in her whatever visualization room and all of that. By the time they were done with that meeting, that's how the mastermind circle came about. So the mastermind circle came, it was my son's vision. So basically, we wanted to create that platform. So it's actually a peer mentorship and accountability group. So that's why in the mastermind, I am the matron. He is the lead partner, and it's children who are working together, developing themselves, inspiring each other, you know, and all of that. So that's how he was able to break the mastermind circle. Now, the mastermind circle is a paid program. It's an annual paid program, basically. But because he was able to break that vision, we were able to take the vision and create something more out of it. Because we wanted him to be a thinking child. Because it takes thinking to build financial, you know, to build that financial empire that God has created them to build. When he said, go ye forth, be fruitful, multiply, fill the earth, abundance, all of it. It is not ashes you. It is not this parent, their own is too much, it's too much. It is fulfilling, it is fulfilling prophecies and fulfilling, you know, what God has called us to do. So basically, you know, this is part of it in that whole, how to deal with that whole financial blueprint. I've been talking about the financial blueprint, you know, and all of that. All right. So it's a whole document, and it's a whole document, right, that we share with the parents when they come for this class. Don't worry, that class is worth much more. We just make it that because I am really big on parents understanding some of these things, because I know it will save the children when we understand these things. Yes. All right. So do I have time? Let me continue now. I still have a few things. All right. So the other thing that we want to pay attention to, okay, that we took the children through when we're talking about financial knowledge, we took them through financial myths, right? All of these things that people say that are not true, all right? All of these things that we say, things like we have a whole document for that one too. All right, I shared that in my book Young and Money Smart. I shared this one in the book where I talked about some of the limiting beliefs around money. Like people tell you like things like, oh, money is the root of all evil. All right, all those kind of limiting beliefs. All right, and then yes, as parents, when our children ask us for money, we don't have a problem with telling them I don't have. I don't have. When you do and you send this message, you actually build a scarcity mindset for your child. Why do you have to go, I don't have, when you can simply say, it is not priority right now? Who says our children have to have all the information and all of that? They don't need it, right? So you can simply write, Say, and you're not lying. It's really not priority right now. It's
now.
a priority right now. So what we're going to do is we're going to put it in the list somewhere,
Wish list.
and when it is priority, we will deal with it. Basically. So of course, I know that there are times that I will go into a store or will go into a supermarket and our children will pick things that we may not be ready for and all of that. So let me spare you and spare me. So we started from the beginning. We don't go and be buying anyhow. So before we leave the house, we write our lists. It's all right. You will be fine and I will be fine. I don't have to feel bad as a parent, and you too. You don't have to know that I don't have today. So you see how we deal with this problem that will come up when they are sick. We dealt with it when they were 1, or we dealt with it when they were 0. So an intentional parent is a thinking parent. You are constantly, you're proactive basically. You're constantly preempting things, and you are putting all of these things that you preempt in your curriculum so that you can deal with them. You don't go to war on the day of war. You prepare for war, right? Before the day of war. You don't want to prepare on the day of war. So that's it. And parenting is war, isn't it?
It is.
Parenting is war. So you prepare for it. Yes, according to Wendy, you prepare for it before the day of war. So that's it. So for you to build the right financial mindset, you want to make sure that you are not the one selling a scarcity mindset to your child. You are the one that is selling an abundance mindset. So when you live in a home where things get spoiled and you don't try to fix them, without knowing it, you are actually building a scarcity mindset. When your children have their clothes that are torn, you don't quickly get them to fix it. Why are you wearing torn clothes when a needle and thread can fix it? Get them to learn how to fix it with needle and thread. You are building a financial mindset. It may seem as if it's just clothes, but no, that is abundance. Knowing that at every point you should be excellent. All of this is in the blueprint. At every point you should be excellent. So when you teach your children that excellence is the name of the game, at every point your best foot is out. So yes, when they start businesses, they will put their best foot out. When they go for internship, they will put their best foot out. When they are learning in school, they will put their best foot out. So you see how you have developed your child financially by a simple lesson like doing things excellently and putting your best foot out all the time. It is part of building the right financial mindset for your children. All right, so you want to remove all the negative, limitation. We have a whole list of, maybe I should share one of these for you and your community. I'll probably share with you the documents that has limiting beliefs. There are a list of over 20 limiting beliefs and how you can change those limiting beliefs to empowering beliefs, because it's very key that we're able to do this, on that journey. So changing limiting beliefs to empowering beliefs. We did that with the children in the mastermind the whole week. We will share a limiting belief and then we'll overturn it with a non-limiting belief that replaces it. It's very, very key. All right. Now, the next thing we'll be looking at is helping them build an abundance mindset. Now, this abundance mindset comes from what are the financial nuggets that you have as a parent? What are the financial knowledge that you are passing down to your children? What are you saying to them about money? What are you saying to them about creating wealth? The more you do this, the more abundance they begin to think, basically. Okay, so one example is telling your children that God, in His infinite mercy, God created us, right, to specialize. God created us not to be all over the place. We were created for specialization and for exchange of our skills and our specialty. So you want to raise children who understand that there is something inside of you that you do better than most people. There's something inside of you that you do without struggling too much. There is something that people cannot think of. I mean, I can sit down here and I can send 10 posts in a day. There are people that cannot even write one letter. They can't write one. I mean, they will sit down on writing an application or writing one letter, from morning to evening, they're still figuring, how do I go about it? Now, that comes easy for me. It doesn't come easy for the next person. So you don't want to go and judge that person by their ability. You know how they say, you want to judge a fish by its ability to climb a tree. You will never get anywhere. So you want to help your children Identify their superpowers. How do you do that as a parent? You must be able to silence the noise, silence the noise around them. You should be able to watch your children and see the patterns in their lives. If you are watching your children, you will see some of the things that they haven't even seen themselves. So you could have that child that loves to do many things, but you realize that every time he is playing, trying to drum and create music, you will see that it's a big deal for him. You will see that he gets engrossed in it. Every time there's good music playing in the background, you will see that he is in his best mood. Okay, so sometimes the child may not even know that anything is there, but you as a parent, you have watched the child and you have watched the pattern, and you can tell that this one is got something in this area, basically. So when you see that, no matter how small it is, you want to create opportunities, you want to create platforms for the child to, harness that skill. Now, if somewhere along the line the child loses interest, it is fine. But your job is to ensure that you allow them to express that, you allow them to find a path for that, to express that thing. I'll give you an example. When our son was in year one, right? When he was in year one, yes. So that's like kindergarten, right? So you know how it is now in school back here. Oh, they do music club, they do this club. So I enrolled him for music club. For some reason, he never liked it there. Now, I don't know. I didn't know at the time why he didn't like it. Okay. Now I'm more intentional. So I have an idea. All right. At the time, he was a very boisterous, jumpy child. And then all of a sudden, there are 20 people waiting to use one or two pianos. That whole wait period for him to get to use the keyboard for just 5 minutes wasn't worth it for him. So when he gets into that music room, all he wanted to do was play. So that's where he wasn't interested, or it seemed like he was not interested. Now, during the lockdown, it was another opportunity. We were locked here at home, and of course, we had to look for anything and everything to just get their interest so that we can rest. All right. So I got them a music tutor and all of that. So we had a keyboard in the house and all of that. And so my niece was here. She's into music. My daughter loved it too. And so they would do the assignment, but he was never doing his assignments. He would never do his assignments, right, and all of that. It was only a few months ago that he told me he didn't like the guy. He just didn't like that music guy. That the guy was so rude. That's how he put it. He would talk to you so nastily. So my son is a sensitive person. So when you talk to him, he's that child that will tell you, "Mom, you don't have to raise your voice. Just tell me what you want me to do." So he's that kind of person. So the moment you are that person that will come at him like that, he gets put off. So basically, I think he got put off with, and all that. So last year, I bought a real standard keyboard, for the doctor that is at least showing interest. Let me keep this one for her as it is. And so he loves video games, plays video games every now and then and all of that. And so he had this particular song in one of the games, and he took it upon himself that he wanted to be able to play that song. So that is how this boy on his own learned the notes, learned everything that he took and all of that. And you see him sit down there practicing and all of that. And then when he gets it right, you see him jumping, very happy with himself and all of that. I'm like, see this one, the one that nobody said you should do, now you're ready to do. And so I was in church one day, and an elderly woman called me and she said, "Do you know that Kamsi sings very well?" I said, "He does." I know that he says all this music anyway. So I mean, every time I tell him the noise is too much. So every time he goes with his, I tell him, "Guy, you need to learn to quieten your spirit. You cannot create like this. The noise is too much." So me, I'm not even hearing every voice. I'm just saying, So by the time the lady said this, I started paying attention, and I realized he actually has like this real melodious sound, and all of that, And then I mentioned it to him that, "Oh, miss, this person thinks," and all that. And then he said, "Yeah, I was going to ask you about it. Can I go to music school?" So can I go to music school? So now, basically, this was how many years ago? When he was in year one, that's when he was about 5, 6, right? That's when I thought to, because at that time I was just thinking music is good for the brain, that's all I was thinking at the time. The same way I introduced him to football, the same way I introduced him to public speaking, the same way I introduced him, to all of these things, basically, just to see what it is, because I see you show interest in these things, and I see these things are strong some way, one way or the other, basically. But hey, now that the time is right, he's able to stretch his hand and grab something that you have created a foundation for. So very key, we need to pay attention. So it's in the conversations that you are having, all right? So yes, now when we identify this, we want children to understand that it is God's design that we are purposeful, that we build skills basically, and that we become authority in particular areas basically. That is, I was reading the book, was it by Rabbi Daniel Lapin, right? It's financial lessons from the Bible. And he said in that book that, why do you think that when Jacob wanted to bless his children, he could have gathered all of them and said, God bless you, God keep you, you'll be well. But he was specific in each of them and the blessings that he bestowed on each of them. It's the same thing that Moses did when he was going up to the mountain to see, Israel before he died. He blessed them tribe by tribe. Why did he do that? He wanted each tribe to know that they have a skill. The Levites had what they were skilled at, what was their own thing. And so each of us is going to end up needing the other. This is your skill. This is your thing. But hey, in that skill, you are not a loner. You're going to need the next tribe. You're going to need your brother that is skilled in the other thing and all of that. So when we do this, when we have this kind of conversations with our children, you're already prepping their minds for the fact that there is something that is your superpower and you can actually harness it and make the best out of it. So you see how we help build people with abundance mindsets, how we build people who are ready to create solutions, how we prepare our children to be wealth creators, innovators, inventors, basically, not just people who are looking for platform where they can have visibility and they can hammer or they can blow so that they can have money. Do you understand? It's two different things altogether. So that's why it's not something that you wait till your children graduate. It's not something that you wait till later. It's today that you build that mindset. Mindset is like cast. When you're building that building, the cast in it. That's what the mindset, that part that is cast, that is difficult to scatter. That is what it is. So that's why it's a foundational thing that whatever you want to see, that child that you want to raise your child to be, all right, that billionaire, that's impact maker. You have to start today to build the mindset. So that's very, very key. What we are saying to our children is very key. The financial lessons, the conversations that you're having today, the mindset, the abundance mindset, and how you're building it. So this is part of what we're going to be sharing with the parents. I'm going to be sharing principles like this, principles like, all of these principles, one after the other like that. I think we have a whole 20 of them, right? By the time you hold on to this principle, then there's no child that you are telling about money that you will not have your why. You know how we say a person that knows the why is better than the person that knows the how. When children understand the why do I have to? Why this? Why that? Now, these principles will form your why. And so when these principles form your why, your children are able to understand, and then it leads to believability. So that they begin to believe in the vision that you have for them because they understand the why. And as soon as they understand the why, motivation kicks in. Because I know the why, I become self-motivated. And as soon as self-motivation kicks in, then passion begins to come in. Then as soon as passion comes in, mommy, pass and go. The child will direct and lead themselves. They will take themselves on the journey all the way. So that's why Mark Zuckerberg will create an app that his father can use in his office when he was only what? 10 or 12 years old. That's why Elon Musk will create his first software that will be used, and developed to greater things when he was what? Just 12 years old. Do you understand? It is that whole, when we've been able to go through this process, the process of having those conversations, the process of helping them understand their why, the process of getting them to the point where their why is not understanding the why now leads to them believing you. Believability now comes in, and they know that it's not about you. It's not you imposing anything. It is now about them. The moment you understand the why and believability comes in, then they begin to share your vision, parents. They share your vision, and at that point they've shared your vision, passion will kick in. The moment we have reached that point where they've moved on that spectrum from A, motivation or zero motivation, to determination, your job is done. The child will take it from there, and the child would leave it on their own. So you see what we're talking about. So this is how we build abundance. Should I stop?
Yeah, I can see you. The passion is there. Thank you so much. Yeah,
Yeah.
I love how you're emphasizing on basic things as parents. And one thing I have found out is if you're not present as parents, you won't do
You won't,
much.
you
And
won't
like
catch
I
these
yes,
things. Yes.
and like I said when we started the conversation, most of what the errors we have out there is based on assumptions. Like our parents expect us to just figure it out on your own. You should know when you get to a certain age. You should know about, even when we're having sex conversation on this platform, our parents expect us to just figure it out on your own. Puberty, you
Yeah.
figure it out on your own. This conversation on money, you're expected to figure it out on your own. And when we're supposed to pay
Go it
attention
out
to
on your
parents,
own.
we get angry. Your child is trying to get something. Your child is trying to get something in the store. It's okay for a child. I always say we have struggles on this journey because we're not prepared for who a child. Just like you're trying to raise an animal, maybe you want to have a pet. You need to understand how to communicate with this particular pet. It's not the pet that needs training. You are the one that needs training. So whatever you do, so you want your child to you want to raise a well-rounded child, you need to understand how children behaves at every milestones. Your
Exactly.
throw tantrums at some points because it's part of their growth. But because we're not prepared for this journey, when we are supposed to support them and use it as moments, we also get angry and raise them and abuse children. I know you mentioned something about having a goal. I was having a conversation with my husband. I was like, one of the things that will make us stop or just reacting and just respond and help the students because you have a goal. I don't want
You
to
have a
raise
goal.
some things we've seen in ourselves that we don't want the students to have it because we are coming from a lot.
A
So
lot.
we need to deal with ourselves, and because we don't want this to just reoccur in them, because
Yeah.
it's normal. Whatever you have shown to them, they will become. So because we don't want this to replicate for them to have it and struggle with this, I would say trauma. So
But
you
it's
just have to.
trauma. It's actually trauma.
It's trauma. So you just have to caution yourself, deal with yourself so that you can help this generation so they won't have to go through a lot. So you have to have a goal as parents. Even on this conversation of money, what is your goal? And like you said, out of the belly flows rivers of water. So that is who God, and that's why it says, when you're talking about mindset, it says, as a man thinketh in his
how it is.
so it's whatever you think.
Yeah.
Like some people believe that you have to work for someone before you, and that's not through wealth, anyways. So it depends on what you have as a family, as a value. So what are we saying tonight is, parent, from what we've heard, from what we've talked about tonight, as in she have 2 pages full already. So she's having a course this weekend, this Saturday. You can check.
There's just a master class, one-off seat, and we have this conversation. So it's just $1, 1K, 1,000 naira, $1. That's
Yeah.
it.
So
Yeah.
parenting through mentorship. That's our platform. Please check it out. She's having this on Saturday. It's just a 1 hour conversation, and I'm sure you're gonna. Cause from what we have here, I'm sorry, it's a lot.
No,
I've
it's a
written
lot. It's a lot. It's a
2
lot.
pages
Okay.
already.
So,
So
but I'm not even finished. There isn't. But after all of that, now the children need to now understand the relationship between creating value and creating wealth, because they are connected. Very, very key, that part. And then, of course, they now need to be taught how to after making the money, how to manage it, and then of course how to multiply it. Most times when you go for classes like this, when you want to teach children financial knowledge, you just go straight into piggy bank, they need to save,
Save
they put some money in the piggy bank. That is the most basic, it's the most basic financial lesson that there is. And we jump into that when the mindset is not. If you can jump into that in this book. I didn't talk about piggy bank because it's for 10-year-olds and above. I didn't talk about piggy bank still somewhere at the end because no, it's here. I want this to be right. When this is right, piggy bank will flow and the piggy bank will be full. When this is right, I told someone, I said today, when our son has run that business for 5 years. Our son has run a juice making business for 5 years. He's been in business for 5 years. But the goal of that business was not for him to make his first 1 million. I said to someone, if the goal was to make his first 1 million, I promise you, he's made 1 million so far. But because making 1 million was not the goal, it's not bragging right. It's not bragging right now that my son made the first million. No, the goal of the business is for him to learn financial knowledge. So if you know the kind of financial education that our son has learned over the years, just through this business, everything from marketing to sales to understanding rejection to putting Excel together to walking to people to having conversations with grown-ups to calling his his suppliers to asking people that owe him to pay him his money to sending reminders to adults to giving you discounts. All of this he has learned. Now tell me the toilet where he will carry this skill or this knowledge and go and flush. It's a gift. We've given it to him forever. So what he's going to do as he grows older, he's going to build on this. And the good part about it is because he started this business on his own and it wasn't us. So it was him who started. And so because he started, we decided to use it as a teaching opportunity. We decided to tie it to our financial blueprints and use it as a vehicle to establish our financial blueprints. So you see, that's why you need to be paying attention. We need to be paying attention as parents so that we can use their interest. You use the child's interest to fuel what it is that you want to teach them, basically, because it's financial knowledge. So it's not something that you want to put a leash on anybody's neck and drag them to. You will have to use where they are at, right, to help them build it, because it's from here. It's not about plenty money, wait how to spend it. No, that's not it. It's not. So that's why you see all the recklessness, and when you see people have conversations and their conversations is that, do you have money? You have money. Yeah. So that's why they can do, they're confused about what to do with the money because, hey, it's not from here. It's not from here. It's show off. So it's show off forever. All right, so let's not even drag this class too long. So thank you very much. And then there's another thing. So we have a conference for children.
Yes, please.
Please, I want everybody in this community to enroll. If you have kids that are 7 and above, we have the mastermind. It's a free conference. We call it the Beginners Conference. It's a conference for young people by young people. Our speakers are all young people, teenagers and young adults, basically. And then we have a parent roundtable, just one parent roundtable where we have gathered masterminds in the parenting industry. Mastermind and the parents who are walking this journey powerfully. We have a 4-panel roundtable conversation on Saturday. Okay, next week that conference is between the 10th and the 12th, right? So if you enroll your children, you get a chance to be a part of that parents roundtable. It will blow your mind. That's all I can say. But the children will be transformed totally. I promise you. When they come for this conference, it's going to be a whole 360-degree transformation. So if you have children 7 and above, all right, we'll share the link. I think we'll share the link in the comment section. But if you find your way to my group, parenting_through_mentorship, maybe we'll write it here. If you find me away, then you can check our bio and just click the link there and register. It's a free conference, basically, because our sponsors have brought it to us free, to you free. Okay, so we are doing the work so that everybody can get it free. But so don't let your children miss it. And it's a weekend conference. So it's from Friday, 5 p.m. through Sunday. So there's no excuse that the children will be in school. And even for your children who are in boarding school, the conference, the links are going to be there, provided you've registered. So they can always access these when they come back from school. All right. So I'm inviting you to the conference. Yes.
Thank you
Thank you.
so much. Yes, the conference is a must. I'm also going in to register. So I just put the what's it called? The name of your page, yes,
Yes.
Parenting Through Mental. That's right. So please
Yeah.
join us this weekend. Saturday is the money conversation, right?
Yes.
The 1K
Yes. On
conversation.
Saturday.
Parents, we need knowledge on this journey. That's one of the advantages we can be for our children, to equip ourselves with knowledge and help them on their journey, set them on the right platform.
Yeah.
Okay.
Very key.
Also, the 2 weeks time we'll be having the conference. The conference is free. You just need to register to join in.
Yeah.
So please, thank you so much for your time. I sincerely appreciate you. God
You're
bless.
welcome.
More grace.
Thank you.
I know
Thank you
if
so
we
much.
you
Thank you for having me.
you really dealt well with the conversation. Thank you so much. It's all about mindset. So let's equip our children with the right mindset of. So it's not about just bringing out money and showing off.
Yeah.
That's
It's not
that's
about I have money, I'm rich and all of that. You can actually be rich and the children just think about what money can do for them. That's another thing. A lot of our children only think, so they are hungry, buy pizza. They are this, get money to do it. They are sick, money, everything money. So we don't allow them go back and draw from the rivers of living water. So they don't think of solutions because we've told them that money
there's
can do
no
everything for them.
That's key. That's a great roundup there. Thank you so much. Thank you for joining me today. Please, if you're just joining us, thank you every parents that were able to join, and those that'll be catching replays as well. We'll make it available on our YouTube channel. Please do well to catch replay and keep equipping yourself with knowledge. I remember when I started my journey, I was searching for when I noticed I was making some mistakes. I was searching for different platforms out there, but social media wasn't really pronounced then.
Giving
I got a book. I still wasn't satisfied. I just was hungry for knowledge, and
you,
I will tell you for
yeah,
free that since the time I started with knowledge, there's a lot of difference. So please, we need
yeah.
knowledge on the journey, no assumptions. So thank
Mm-hmm.
you so much for joining me. I
Did I tell
sincerely
you this is
appreciate
available
it.
on
Yes,
Instagram?
and someone
I'm
was
on
asking for e-copy.
Amazon. It's available on Amazon.
Yeah,
Yeah,
someone
so
was
you can actually get
asking
on.
of e-copy. Is the e-copy available?
Yes, it's available on. Okay, so it's available on our seller
Okay.
page. It's available on our seller page, and it's also available on Amazon. So you can get
Oh, okay.
paperback
Okay.
and then Kindle copy on Amazon. Yes.
Okay, that's great. Thank you so much. Thank you so
All
much.
right.
Yeah, I sincerely appreciate you. All right. Good night, everyone. Good night, parents. God bless
All
you.
right. Bye.
Yes, lovely regards. Thank you.
Bye.
Bye.